Hi, my name's Anthony Alder from Alder IP, and today we're going to be talking about a very interesting and current item that's come up. It's the use of AI in making videos in particular. AI at the moment is jumping ahead in leaps and bounds on a daily basis. A new product that was just recently released in the last couple of weeks by Google, or Google Gemini, called VEO, which is spelled V-E-O. Pretty good quality videos, very short videos, but they can replicate people and they can be used to replicate real live people. At the moment, Google's been clever enough to include a watermark to indicate that this is actually an AI, a product of AI, and not reality. So people can actually check whether something is real or not. The problem is removing watermarks can be done, and people can remove watermarks from videos, and they could cause a lot of damage by producing videos of particularly politicians saying things that the politicians wouldn't normally do, or endorsing products they wouldn't normally do. There was a recent case where the Pope was actually featured walking around in a white puffer jacket, and he clearly wasn't walking around in a white puffer jacket, and they were using it to advertise the puffer jacket. Now, what rules have they broken by doing that? And at the moment, the only real rule that we've got is Australian consumer law, which covers deceptive and misleading conduct. We've also got the copyright rule, which means that if you take an image and you adapt the image or modify the image, then you're supposed to get approval from the original copyright owner. The problem with AI is AI uses a whole bunch of different pieces of intellectual property at the back end and combines them all and mishmashes them together. And it's not dissimilar to the way an artist would look at other things that are out in the marketplace and sort of come to their own artistic work, right? Now, some of the things that AI is producing are copyrightable works in its own right because they're so different from the original. The problem is, though, they are stepping the line and stepping the boundary and creating confusion. So it's going to be interesting to see what the government does next, what world governments are going to do next in relation to trying to beef up some of the regulation, because the law has been a bit of a laggard in this regard and slow to react. I think the most interesting one is in Denmark at the moment. Denmark's about to pass some legislation that protects the actual image of a person under copyright. So that means the person themselves is essentially the copyright owner of their own image, which means that if their image is used through an AI system or replicated through an AI system, the actual owner of the image, the person themselves, can actually sue the AI company for producing it. How this is going to play out, no one really knows, because the problem is I don't know whether AI at the moment has the capacity to eliminate those duplications, or even where it comes up with the same sort of looking person by mere coincidence, because sometimes just random concoctions of people's faces do generate something that's similar to somebody else's faces. And we're seeing this in movies where an impression of a person can be given by the movie, but it was never endorsed by the actual person, and it was a complete accident, and that's happened a couple of times. But I can see this kind of thing happening with AI, and where the law is going to land, no one really knows at this stage. But it's interesting to see that Denmark's trying to be the forerunner in this and trying to legislate to protect people's IP. I don't know whether it's going to work or not, and it'll be interesting to see whether other governments around the world take up the same sort of legislation. I hope this is helpful, and if you have any queries about how AI and copyright interact with each other, please feel free to contact myself or the team at Alder IP, and we're more than happy to help you out. Thanks for listening.